In the first of a special two-parter, I'll be sharing 10 common manifesting mistakes that stop you getting what you want. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Katie, and after many years as a struggling single mum, I transformed into a highly successful manifester with multiple businesses, better relationships, financial abundance, and way more peace, joy, and happiness in my life. Each week, I share the real secrets around how to manifest successfully, as well as the amazing and sometimes crazy lessons I've learned along the way, so that you can apply it all to your own manifesting, transforming your life from the inside out. This is That Manifesting Podcast.
Welcome back to That Manifesting Podcast. Lovely to have you along with me. I am going to be doing something a bit different in the next 2 episodes, and that's talking about the 10 most common manifesting mistakes that can stop you getting what you want. I think it's one thing to give you lots of ideas on what you should be doing, but sometimes a big part of why people don't manifest what they want is because they could be unintentionally doing one of 10 things that I see happen quite a lot. So I've got quite a lot to unpack in this, so I thought rather than make it a super long episode and cover everything in one go, I would spread it out across 2 episodes. So this is the first. The next episode will be available next week. Today we're going to be looking at the first 5 mistakes that could be stopping you from manifesting what you want. And that's whether you want to manifest a new relationship, whether you want to manifest a new business, better job, new house, just being more happy. Whatever you want to manifest, these common manifesting mistakes can always come up. The first one, I'm just going to get straight into it. Let's just do it. So the first one is a lack of clarity. And what I mean by that is quite often I will talk to people about what they want to manifest, and they will say, yeah, I know exactly what I want. I want a new relationship. But that's where it ends. They might go into something around how somebody looks. They might desire this tall, 6-foot, dark-haired Adonis. But actually, what they haven't got clarity on is truly how they want to be treated in that relationship, how they want to feel, but also the type of person that they want to be. They need to have that clarity as well. So it is something that comes up quite a lot, this lack of clarity. We tend to, when we think we want something, we tend to go surface level. We know what we want and we kind of know why we want it, but we don't always know the reason why. I've talked about this in a previous episode where you can believe that you want something for the best of intentions, for example, wanting a new relationship. But when you peel back your why you want that relationship, it could be that it's because you've got this deep-rooted fear of being alone. And actually, if that's what's happening for you, that's the place you're manifesting from. You're not manifesting from the positive place of wanting a relationship. You're manifesting from that fear-led place of not being alone. The first thing to really think about is how much clarity do you have on what you want to manifest? Do you not only know what you want, but do you know why you want it? Do you know the real place that you're manifesting from? And this is something that I help my clients with a lot. And it can be quite eye-opening to see that what you first thought you wanted was actually because you're trying to plug a gap or a hole that's been left by something else. The real trick then becomes, how do you plug that gap and fill that hole before you then start focusing on manifesting that thing that you want? So yeah, that is the first really common manifesting mistake I see, which is that lack of clarity. Now, there is one exception to this. Whilst I want you to have clarity, what you don't want to be doing is trying to focus on the way that something comes to you. I see, again, a lot of people that will be very adamant I'm going to meet somebody on a dating app, or I'm going to attract lots of money by, I don't know, winning the lottery. What you do when you try to have that sort of clarity in terms of the logistics of how something manifests in your life, then what you start to do is you start to restrict the flow of abundance, because manifesting is a co-creation process. You get to determine what you want, why you want it, but it's the universe that steps in and actually makes that happen in the way it's supposed to happen. Of course, you take inspired actions to help things along the way, guided actions that drive you to that future that you want. But if you try to restrict the flow by determining that something can only come to you this way or that way, or it has to be this person, it has to be this route for money, then you are really putting a stall on what you want to manifest. Have that lack of clarity, know what you want, know exactly what's driving the goal, but don't get too restrictive in how something comes to you. Your job is to focus on what you want and how you want to feel when it arrives. So that's the first one, lack of clarity. The second common manifesting mistake that I see a lot is not implementing milestone manifestations. And this comes about when we have a big dream. Now, I am a huge advocate of dreaming big. I think anything is achievable. Obviously, being realistic in terms of I can't sprout wings and fly, but you know what I'm getting at. Any dream is achievable, and you should absolutely dream big. But that comes with its own difficulties, because if you are sat working a job where the money's not great, the hours are crap, and you're thinking that you want to have a multi-million-pound business, you can absolutely have that multi-million-pound business, but the difference between where you are today and where you want to be can feel unachievable, and that in itself can then start to dampen your manifesting efforts. What I tend to encourage my clients to do is to have manifestation milestones, so you know what the end result will be, maybe that £1 million business, but there are certain things that you maybe need to achieve first to help you along the road to get to that point. As an example, if you have never had a business before, maybe your first milestone manifestation is just to figure out what type of business you want to have. Maybe that's what you want to achieve as part of your manifestation journey towards the ultimate business. Or maybe it is learning about business. That might be your first milestone manifestation, is to be equipped with the knowledge that you need to successfully get a business off the ground. When you can start to implement these little milestone manifestations, then what happens is it feels more achievable. You're never forgetting that end goal of having the multi-million-pound business, but what you're doing is you're setting yourselves these little steps along the way that feel achievable, and actually every time you conquer one of them, it just fills you with more confidence that the route you're going on is the correct one and you are achieving the goal that you want. So that is definitely something that I would encourage you to do. If you have a big dream, don't ever let that big dream go, but help yourself and help your own manifestation process by implementing these little milestone manifestations along the way. The third one is underestimating your ability. And I guess it really leads on from the second one. By implementing the second one of implementing milestone manifestations, you can actually start to have more belief in yourself. A lot of people do underestimate their own abilities to change their life. I see it all the time, and it makes me feel sad, but then it's also amazing when I see that turn around and I see people manifesting the things that they've always dreamt of, but up until that point never really thought that they could achieve. You do have to be your own cheerleader. You might have supportive people around you. You might have an amazing family. You might have fantastic friends. But when it comes down to it, it's only the belief in yourself that will carry you through. Everyone else's belief in you doesn't matter. And that's something that I tell the people I work with. Sometimes we will go into sessions and I know I can build them up and make them feel great, and I'm sort of rah-ing at them over Zoom, like really ramping them up. But when that call ends, they have to maintain that belief for themselves. The fact is, you have to adopt the techniques, the strategies. If you work with me, I will give you every technique and every strategy that has led to me changing my own life. I will give all of those to you because I want to see you do well. You can take those steps, you can implement those techniques and those strategies. But if your belief at the core of you is not there that you can actually achieve something, it's never going to happen, because that's the place you're manifesting from. You'll be manifesting from that place of fear, of doubt, of not really believing that you can have what you want. Never underestimate your own abilities to manifest what you want. The fourth mistake that I see quite common is skipping inspired action. This is a big topic for me. It's something that really rattles my cage. When you go onto Instagram, TikTok, and you see all these short manifestation videos, and they make it seem either really, really easy, like all you have to do is write this one sentence out 300 times for 300 days and then what you want will come, or do this weird ritual and you will get what you want. And of course it doesn't work. And the other thing that people do is they make it seem like, I don't know, I think it makes it feel like it's some sort of weird magic. And this is then what causes so much doubt around manifesting. I'm a spiritual person, okay? I believe that there's universal energy that helps me achieve what I want in life. But even if you don't believe that, even if you just look at the core of manifesting, it's not magic. It's not some weird spell. It's not doing these crazy rituals to make something happen. It's about aligning yourself in terms of your identity, your actions, your beliefs and your thoughts with what you want. Because even just on a fundamental level, your body, your mind will come together and focus on achieving that goal, and you will do the right things and take the right actions. I get really wound up when I know I shouldn't, but I do, because I just feel like there's so many people in the world who have dreams, or they're in pain and they just want to change their life. And there's people peddling this crap that all you have to do is, this, was it 365 method, 369 method, whatever it's called, or just write out this one sentence over and over again, or look at yourself in the mirror and say this affirmation and turn around and howl at the moon, and then what you want will magically appear. And it's just not like that. Anyway, sorry, I digress. That was just me ranting, getting on my soapbox for a few minutes. Sorry about that. But yeah, skipping inspired action. And that is something that a lot of people don't do. Manifestation is not a passive exercise. It's not about just sitting and hoping and praying and wishing and believing you can have something. You actually have to align your actions with what you want. The universe, the energy of the universe, that abundance responds to your effort. You have to seize the opportunities and take those steps towards your goal. It's like if you wanted to go on holiday. I think I've shared this before, but say you want to go on this lovely holiday and you plan it, you know where you want to go, you know what you're going to do when you get there. But imagine if you never got a passport, or you never went to the airport, or you you didn't bother getting anything packed, it's not going to happen. You can feel as positive as you like about the holiday and you can be as excited as you want, but if you don't take action, it's not going to happen. And that's the same with anything you want to manifest. If you want to manifest a relationship, I speak from experience. Sitting in your house, binging Netflix and eating loads of chocolate, your magic man is not just going to come and knock at the door. Unless he's your supermarket delivery driver. Maybe that's my dream man, I don't know. But you can't manifest, generally speaking, just by doing nothing. You have to take action, but the critical thing here is it has to be inspired action. There's a difference between willpower driven action and inspired action, and I think I'll talk about this in a future episode a bit more because it is quite a big topic, the topic of action, but on a high level, just so that you get the gist of where I'm going with this, is willpower driven action is the sort that you sit and you think about. And I'm the queen of to-do lists. If I know I need to do something, I will sit and I will stew on it and I will write down all these actions, and I really put a lot of thought and effort into what I need to do. That's willpower driven action, because I'm forcing my mind to come up with the actions that I need to take. Inspired action is the type of action that you have randomly. I don't know if you've ever had it where you might be thinking about, say it was starting a business, and all of a sudden you get this random thought that you should share something on social media, or you should look for a certain thing on Google, and it's a thought that just seems to pop out of nowhere. Generally, those are your inspired actions. Those are the actions that you really want to start taking notice of. That is a big thing that I see people doing, which is skipping inspired action. And the fifth one, the last one that we'll cover today, is impatience. A massive manifesting mistake is having impatience and also having a set timeline. Manifestation does not operate on your schedule. I hate to tell you that, but it's not about when you want something to happen. Think about it in this way. If you wanted to manifest a promotion at work and you decide that you want a job that somebody else has already got, but that's your ultimate goal in terms of career. So what you do is you start focusing on your manifesting. Maybe you're taking inspired actions, you believe in yourself, you're doing all the right things, and maybe within a year it still hasn't happened. There are many people that will feel so impatient that they then start to feel like it's never going to happen. But here's the thing. For you to get that promotion, somebody else has to decide that they want to move on to another job. That job then has to become available. You obviously apply for it. You have to go through the whole process. But the big part is there's somebody already in that position. Things have to shift in their own life before you can then move into that. And I had this myself. I'm self-employed. I work with people, mentoring them with manifesting. I also have my own successful marketing company. And although that's really successful, I'd always had a dream contract that I wanted to do that was nothing to do with marketing. It was like a personal interest I had. And I set an intention 5 years before that I wanted to work with this company, just so I could tick it off my bucket list that I'd done some work with them. And it took 5 years for it to happen. I never once ever doubted that it would happen, but it still took 5 years. And that's because there had to be a certain set of circumstances that happened that enabled that opportunity to open up for me. And that took 5 years. It could be the same with manifesting a relationship. You might decide today that you want to be in a relationship and you're ready to meet the one, but that person might be married to somebody else right now. They might still have a journey to go on in the relationship that they're in, before that relationship ends, before they then become single and feel in a place ready to date. Maybe they have to date 5 people to get to know themselves before they're ready to be the person that you need. And that's the key. Impatience gets you nowhere. All it does is drives that feeling of doubt and actually prolongs things even more. Remember that just because you want to manifest something, that doesn't mean it's going to turn up on your doorstep the next day, the next month, even the next year. You have to always have that trust and that belief in yourself that what you want is going to come, no matter how long it takes. And you will keep taking the inspired actions to get there. So that's the 5th one, impatience and timelines. So those are the first 5 common manifesting mistakes that can stop you getting what you want. Next week, I'll be sharing the final 5 so that you've got all 10. In the meantime, do let me know if any of these resonate with you, or if there's anything you've heard today that you want me to dive into a bit deeper on a future episode. DM me. On best place to DM me is Instagram. You'll find me at The Manifesting Mindset. You can just follow me there, shoot me a DM, we'll have a chat. Let me know what you're struggling with. Let me know anything that you would like me to cover in future episodes. But until then, I will see you next week for the second part of the 10 most common manifesting mistakes that can stop you getting what you want.
So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed listening, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a review, because it really does help me to reach more people. I've left some links in the show notes so you can connect with me, or you can grab one of my manifesting resources. Until next week, sending you lots of love, light, and manifesting vibes.